Alrighty, guys, super excited to be breaking down my good friend Riley Sinclair's, oops, spelled his last name wrong, there it is, Instagram page, Throwability on Instagram, would highly recommend giving him a follow. He's really in a pretty unique niche, applying a lot of ATG and knees over toes principles specifically to throwing. I think ATG is primarily seen as a lower body system or brand, so he's really kind of changing the game, applying a lot of the principles and diving deeper into blood flow and all sorts of things for upper body athletes, specifically throwing, more specifically baseball and football as well. So I really want to break down what was missing before we started working together, what has changed, and then what it is we're still changing and are going to continue to change out into the future. So I believe Riley and I have been working together for maybe 4 or 5 months or so, something like that. We started roughly around, I want to say 1,700 followers. So we've grown to 5K. It's been a pretty steady growth. We've had quite a few videos do really, really well. This one was amazing, 371K, and not even a collaboration video. The hook on this one was just really, really good. And so, yeah, I'm just going to dive straight into kind of talking about what was missing beforehand. Obviously, you'll have to take my word for it as we can't visually see it anymore. And then kind of with the history of what we've changed and where we're going. So, what was initially missing with Riley's page was, first of all, there was not really a coherent message or niche. I know that's a word that's often used a little too much. Riley was making videos here and there regarding all sorts of ATG topics, but there was really no reason for someone to follow him instead of following Ben or any of the other much, much larger ATG pages. So that was the first thing missing. The second thing was inconsistent posting. If I remember correctly, he would post, 1, 2 reels in a week and then nothing for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Also, no content variation. So this is something a little bit of a smaller detail, but I'll dive into that here and kind of show you a few examples if I could find a couple of them. And then the content quality as well. So let me scroll back, see if there's any old stuff. Yeah, I mean, this is way back in the day, but it was just, really simple things like neck training. Like there wasn't, anything that was particularly like super special. No offense, Riley, but like there was no reason to learn split squats from Riley instead of learning it from Ben, for example, right? It was all over the place, and it was still very, very valuable information. But in terms of actually building a brand that it's like people, throwers now want to follow this guy, there wasn't really that beforehand. So that's really the main things that I would say were missing. A lot of it really coming down to like the voice or the lack of a niche and coherence between all of his content. And then quality is a little bit less important in this case. So then things that we changed. The biggest thing was the throwing niche. So I believe his handle before was like Sinclair Strength, and Riley has a background of playing baseball in high school and potentially community college. I don't remember exactly, but he threw, I think he said 80, 83 or so back in high school. He hasn't thrown in like almost 10 years, like 9, 10 years, and he's still able to throw 80. I believe he's like 83, 84 now, and he's working on his way to 90. So he's like, dude, I love throwing. I love baseball. I think it's one of his favorite sports. He's like, why don't I just pursue this? There's no one really doing it well. There's a lot of people doing knees, obviously. There's a lot of people doing now low back, with low back ability becoming more popular, but no one is really focusing on throwing. So we did that maybe 4 months ago or so, um, honing in on that. And then another big thing for Riley, more on a personal level, is like playing and throwing again. So he wasn't really consistently practicing his throws and the sport of baseball. He's recently joined a team over in Florida, so that's kind of giving him more, not only confidence, but like mentally he's invested in what it is he's talking about more so than before. This is him at like one of the pitching mounds where he threw 80, got clocked in for 80. So that was huge. Big other thing is the quality of the videos. As you'll see, from when I scroll down before, all of this compared to what we've got going on now, the quality is just on an entirely different level. The consistency with the filming, the B-roll, the music, everything, the color grading, it's all just really, really improved through using our editors at Real Reels. And then content variations. So I don't know if I can find one in here. I might be able to just show you a quick example so you kind of know what I'm talking about. So if you look at Riley's Reels in here, you'll see there's a lot of the kind of duplicates with our projects. So these two videos have the same title. these two have the same, these two have the same. Now, what these are is essentially one video topic that Riley made that we were able to now split into multiple videos. Now, what this does for Riley as a, as a creator is it gives every video he makes more than one opportunity to do well. So he may have made, a spinal ability video, which I edited to 45 seconds, and this second variation is only 15 seconds long. So the odds of this version doing better than this one are quite high. But now we're just giving that video topic more than one opportunity to do well. Because oftentimes you'll make a video that you think is amazing, it's funny, it's educational, it's witty, whatever it is, and you post it and it does, 500 views, and you're like, what the heck, why didn't it do well? Well, one could be that's genuinely not a great video, but two, it could be that you're not giving the video topic more than one chance to actually do well. So if you have the opportunity to break up the video that you've made into more than one variation, 3, 4, 5 variations, some that are shorter, some that are longer, some that, cut the hook down, some that make the hook longer, whatever it is, absolutely do that. And then, let's see what else. And then consistency, that one's probably been one of the biggest ones. Again, like I said before we started working together, he was posting, he'll post 1 or 2 videos and then he won't post anything for a few weeks. Now we're posting pretty consistently 4 or 5 times per week, working on getting up to posting every single day. And again, these content variations are going to make it much, much easier for Riley to actually post every single day while not needing to film, 3, 4 times a week. You can actually only film, once per week. Those are the big changes that we've made, as well as the bio. I mean, that kind of comes with just, getting into that throwing niche, just really, really honing in this bio to make it clear. We got his name, throw pain-free. That's really kind of what we're talking about here. It's not just about throwing harder, but it's about throwing pain-free and for longer. It's often going to be the guys, and this goes for a lot of sports. I have a running cross-country background. It was often the guys that could just stay pain-free the longest that would do the best. That means you can run more. That means you can throw more. That means you can feel better and you're more confident with what it is you're doing. Now, quickly going into things that we're going to be changing and continuing to change and improve in the future. A little bit away from content stuff and more on maybe business stuff, but I think it's still very important. Obviously, at the end of the day, Riley's running a business. He's not just doing this for fun. It's improving his offers. Right now, he's got a one-to-one coaching offer, just getting more clarity and reps around that. Working on, sending DMs consistently. Out of his 5,000 followers, I have no doubt that there's 50, 80, 100 qualified people in there that have money to spend, and want to spend money on improving their ability to throw. They absolutely exist within there. Like I was saying before with the filming, simplifying his filming down to once per week for just a 60 to 90 minute session. Again, these content variations are huge. If you're making content, you're shooting yourself in the foot by not turning every single piece of content into at least 3 variations. I believe all of these were 3. Yeah, that one's 1, 2. So you already posted number 2. You're shooting yourself in the foot if you're not turning every single reel topic that you do into 3 or more variations. So with that said, if we're turning every single video into, let's say, on average 2 to 3, so 2.5 variations, all Riley needs to do is film 3 videos once per week, and he's completely set. 3 videos at an average of 2.5 variations per video is 7.5 videos, which let's just call it 7. 3 videos per week will allow him to post every single day, and 3 videos should really only take 60 to 90 minutes. Pick a topic that's related to the throwing. We've got plenty of options here. There's the power ball. There's all sorts of like shoulder-based movements, chest-based movements, pushing, even seated good mornings. Riley's a great, great coach. He knows what's going to help their, throwing ability, even sled. It's just about rinsing and repeating these content ideas into new variations. And then kind of in line with that same idea, finding those 3 to 5 things that are going to get his client 90% of the results. So he's already found power ball is a big one. The big shoulder movements within ATG, so trap 3, Powell raise, external rotation, even dips to some degree, German hang, all of those movements he's talked about loads, and then lower body as well. Pitchers especially get a lot of tight hips, so he talks a lot about seated good morning, ATG split squat, sled even, things like that. So he's already working on finding those. It's just about continuing to refine them. And once he refines this further and further, it'll make this process even easier. And then the last thing I'll say to change, and this is fairly minor, but I think it is important. If you look at my video with Primal Fit Jesse, he replaced his profile photo with a, I can just show you, let me see. How do I move this thing? One sec. I'm trying to move my recorder. There it is. If I just show you here, he replaced his old profile photo, which was something like this, with this. That's a lot more representative of him doing body weight, handstand, balance, strength exercises. So same thing with Riley. We'd love to replace this photo with something that's a bit more throwing related. We might actually have one from a recent video. I think this one might have it. Yeah, we could definitely find an image that'll be a little bit better, and we might replace that. But other than that, I think that's everything we got for Riley. It's been a huge, huge transformation from him kind of just being a generic ATG strength guy, which is definitely possible to be successful in, but you're just kind of putting yourself into a more common zone. But being this ATG, knees over toes principle guy that's talking about throwing is a lot more niche, it's a lot more unique, and it's going to call those people that are big fans of knees over toes guy Ben Patrick, but he doesn't necessarily talk that much about throwing. So those people that are throwing athletes that want to learn more about the ATG principles for throwers, it's a no-brainer to follow Riley. So hopefully that helped. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message over at Real Reels Academy on Instagram, right there. Just shoot me a DM. Be happy to make a loom like this for your page as well. We can get on a call, see what tweaks you can make to your page, to your content, to your editing, to your topics, hooks, all sorts of stuff to get you the followers that you're looking for, get you more leads, and overall just improve your business and presence online. So hopefully that helped. Would love to chat, and